is only war.
What is up, gents? 40k Dirtbags here. We are back at it again. We just came back from the Lone Star Open 40k Champs event out in Texas. It was our second time going. Actually, it was me and Kevo last year. This year, we brought two other Dirtbags with us, so it was cool. If you guys are going to go to Texas, this is one of the best FLG events to go to. I know they have a Texas circuit out there, but FLG runs a great tournament. And this one we're going to keep coming back out to every year because it's so fun to meet the people and represent the troops. It's got all the branches there. They all hang out, talk, go over some stories. And it's just the guys that are there are just your definition of like a chill, cool 40K dirtbag, right? So that's kind of like how me and Kevo click so well. And when you guys have everybody in one room playing the same tournament, it's just such a cool vibe. So if I can't recommend it enough, I definitely would check out Lone Star Open if you can next year out in Texas. So this year, we won it last year. This year, we went 6-0 with our Death Guard. Kind of a crazy meta right now. I have to admit that Death Guard, Chaos Knights, Imperial Knights are just kind of top everywhere. And this just goes to show when we were there was about a 20% showing of Death Guard. And of course, I'm one of them, so I can't say anything about it. But I did have Death Guard since I was 16, so I didn't kind of jump on the bandwagon. Obviously, we got the merch going. But yeah, so we're going to go over this video first. This is going to be a list review video of what we did, what lists we brought to LSO, how we went 6-0, stuff like that. And then I'm going to break it up like I do every other GT into each individual match. So we're going to go over first through 6 because we didn't have any stream games this time. So it's actually going to be 6 full videos. The other tournaments, we had some streams going, so I didn't really have to make a video on them. But with this one, we go over picture by picture, turn by turn, what we did good, what we could have done better, and all that stuff. Every single game I had this time was against a really, really, really good opponent. Every single time we could have lost in every single game. Sometimes when you go to GT, you play some newer players and you kind of like coach them throughout the entire thing. But no, every single game I played out of all 6 were, holy shit, I could lose this game. So I can't wait to talk about each game in this in the next coming videos. But I really want to talk about this video because it really gives detail on why I bring what I bring and kind of like how I make a list in my head. And then I put it on a piece of paper and then test it and then tweak it and then kind of make an actual list that's going to be good in the competitive scene. So that's what this whole video is going to be about. So if you guys have any questions, make sure you leave it in the comments below so that way we get to it. And if you guys want to head over to Discord, there's a really cool Discord for the Dirtbags. Everybody is super friendly. They help each other out. No dicks. If there are dicks, you get banned. There's no point. And then if you guys want to support us over at patreon.com, I wouldn't be doing this without my Patreons. We actually got to hang out with a bunch of cool fucking Patreons at LSO. So a bunch of Grandmasters there, a bunch of competitive Dirtbags. A lot of people came up to us. It was a really, really cool time. And it's good to see you guys live in person. And you kind of see like how I am naturally. I mean, I am this way naturally in person, kind of chill, like drinking beers and playing 40k. When you see like some other 40k channels, they're not the same in person as they are in 40k. I was told by one of my dirtbags that's how it is. But it was super fun, great weekend. And if you guys want to support the channel, head over to patreon.com. All these videos go ahead of time on patreon.com first. And there's some extra key stuff you can't get anywhere else, only on patreon.com. We do Grandmaster TTS games as well and Grandmaster coaching 101. If you guys are competitive, we get list reviews, ideas, tactics, and unlimited list oversight. Anytime you guys need. So let's get into the sponsors real quick. Rexar Lasers is stepping up. They are going above and beyond with even more merch. We're talking about getting a Rexar Lasers link on their website. It's only going to be the Dirtbag stuff. So we're working on that with them. So stay tuned for that. And if you guys want to get the shirts, hats, there are new images up on the merch store. So go check that out. But quick sponsor, and we'll be back to the list. All right, guys, if you want to support the channel, head over to the merch store. The description below has the link. All these shirts are up for sale. These legit red, white, and blue shirts look fire at a GT. They're super comfortable, super non shrinkage. It's just a really, really nice shirt. Spent a lot of time picking out the right shirt. All these designs are up for sale, all the stickers as well. And if you guys need some models, we got the Cypher, which is legit. We got the Tech Marine with Grey Knight bits. We have the Phobos Librarian, the Phobos Captain, the Calidus Assassin should be in every list, and old school Codiez. We have the widgets, 6-inch, 3-inch, 1-inch, 2-inch, half-inch. We have our objective markers, which are great for sticky objectives, any marking for oath, anything like that, and all of the stickers. So hit me up on Discord, DM, that's how you get a hold of these, and the merch tab below for the shirts. Now back to the video. All right, so the top 5 players were 6-0. It was like a 300+ person event. It was kind of insane in a 2-day, 6-game event. So with only 6 games and that many people, you're going to have a ton of people that are undefeated. So the first one who won it, congrats, Junior, Death Guard. He won first place. Number 2, Oscar, who actually played our boy Brian in one of the games. He took second with Death Guard. Then we have a Chaos Space Marine player, which there was a thing with this game. He actually brought a Hellbrute that wasn't in his list, and he played all 6 games with that extra Hellbrute. I think he commented online about his mistake and felt like an idiot, yada yada. I don't know. Everybody was saying it was sentiment. I don't know the guy. I can't say anything about it, but it's kind of, it sucks, like bringing an entire 130 point, really, really good Hellbrute in a Pack-Bound Zealot list, not realizing it. And also making the list not with the Hellbrute in it, that kind of sucked too. So I think he got DQ'd, all his points went away, and I don't know if he's getting any ITC points, which I don't think he is, which technically mean we were 4th place, right? But no, 4th place was Necrons with Justin Moore, and then we came to 5th place. And how they rank it, guys, is based off of strength of schedule. So this guy, 69% strength of schedule, which is pretty good. Oscar had a 64. James, doesn't matter, sorry, 63, 62, and then we had a 56. So like I said, when I was playing all my guys, I was like, every guy I was playing could have been really fucking good. Like, it was a really close game every single time, which is nuts. But then the guy we beat on game 6, that was our last game, he was the number 1 Death Guard player. He was at 73% win ratio. It was insane. Funny story, I'll get to that when we get to the video. But yeah, so we came up in 5th place at the Lone Star Open. We won it last year with our Chaos Cult. This year we're trying to bring it back, going back to back at Lone Star Open. But we still went 6-0 with our Death Guard, so I can't wait to talk about this. All right, so here is the list. We are running the Vectorum. I definitely think Vectorum is the best. I mean, Morty's Hammer, you guys can see that it's essentially the best win ratio. I do think Morty's Hammer is the easiest to play compared to Vectorum, but Vectorum definitely has some of the best strats and opportunity to run Morty. And if you have Morty's just so fun, you have to run Morty. So that's kind of what I run it for, is because Mortarion is one of the best detachments you can run with Mortarion. So if you can bring Mortarion. It's super cool to run him that way. And also with the Hammer, I think it's a good counter to the Morty's Hammer. Morty's Hammer is just super annoying to go into, but also Vectorum is also super annoying to go into. But I have been doing really well with this. We started it right when the Codex came out in Maryland Open. We won that one. It was with 10-man Plague Marines and some characters. Then we went to another GT, and I think what did we do in that GT? Yeah, and then ACO, Atlantic City Open, we won that one. So that was against TJ Lanigan. That was one of the best players in the Northeast. So we won that one. So we won 2 GTs with this type of list. And then we've been tweaking it every single GT we play. And this is like the 3rd GT that we went 6-0 with. So we know it's good. Obviously, with the points to come and nerfs and all that shit, obviously we're going to be changing it. But as of right now, this is good the way it is and how I've been playing it. And I'll show you guys in each video how I've been playing it. So first off, we got to lead it off with the Death Guard Demon Prince. He is the niche, one of the niche and key models in this list. Having Lone Op within 3 inches of an infantry model, so all your Poxwalkers all over the place, they're kind of always within 3 inches of the Demon Prince. He has the 5 Feel No Pain, so that way him and Morty are both super annoying to kill. He's got 10 wounds. Morty has like 16, so T12, 2 up, 4 up, 5 Feel No Pain. literally a mini Morty, just with a little bit less of wounds. So having two essentially Mortys on the table is kind of scary. So he's speed 8, which is really good. He has a 3-shot weapon hitting on 2s, 2 damage, and then his melee is really good. It's 7 attacks, 2 AP, and then 3 damage. Like it's a good chunky weapon that he's swinging down on people. But the main thing you bring him is because of the CP free -1 CP to your strat within 12 inches, which is huge. So you're kind of always keeping Morty and Death Shroud within 12 inches of the Demon Prince, which is a huge bubble. So him being in the list, you're so good with CP, especially if you're going second. Because if you're going second, you can kind of use the CP in either their turn or in your turn, and then it resets again in their turn. So let's say you commit on turn 2 to like move up, throw a grenade for free, charge, and then do whatever. And now in their turn, you get that extra CP back because they're top of the turn. So it resets in the battle round. That's what's so good about it. So like you can use the -1 AP or -1 damage strat in their turn for 1 CP again. It's a really good tactic, and that's why he should be in every single list, I think, with Death Guard, besides maybe the Talisman Summoners, because there's no strats that Death Guard uses in that besides 1. So then we have the 2 Lord of Contagions. Both of these guys are just insane. I'll tell you a story, quick story with this one. The Strength 10 is kind of huge. The AP2, 3 damage, Dev, and extra attack. So extra attack, Strength 10, AP2, 3 damage, Dev, one-rounded a Dorn battle tank by himself. I was like, you know what? Let's just go with the Lord of Contagion first. I roll like 6 hits, 3 of them are 6s, which are 3 auto lethal, which then sustain as well. And then I roll 2 6s after that for Dev, and he has to take like 5 or 6 saves. He fails 4 of them. So that's 12 flat wounds right there, and then 6 extra Dev on top of that. We just one-rounded a Dorn with 1 fucking model. So after that, there's nothing I can say that how busted that guy is if you go hard with your fucking dice and they fail 4 4-ups in a row. So that was kind of insane. That was our first game of the second day, so that was our 4th battle. Can't wait to go over that one. This one, he's got the crit on 5s weapon, which a lot of people say that this one's better, but I really like the Strength 10 Dev. It's just, the Dev is just so good, and an extra attack as well. So I think this one obviously is the best one, and then this one's obviously really good if you have the points for it. Then we got the big old Morty with the 24-inch range guns now. The wings you use to your advantage. I'm going to make a how to play Morty video coming up soon. The Talisman to get us that extra CP. Sometimes going into turn 3, like you're up to like 5, 6 CP without really doing anything. Because I play very passive the first turn or 2. Once the Death Shroud comes down, then it's time to play the game. But until the Death Shroud come down, you're kind of like just moving around, setting up for when the Death Shroud come down. That's really how I play this list. Is I'm very, very conservative, very passive, and I wait to see what my opponent does, what secondaries I get, how I can stop them, and really where the best place the Death Shroud are going to come down at. Haven't really been screened out at all with this, because sometimes you're like charging in the center objective just to kind of kill whatever is in the center, and sometimes you might even charge in the top objective as well. So I haven't really been screened out, so it's not scary putting all these guys into reserves, like the 2 Death Shroud units with the Lord of Contagions. I always put them in reserves every single game because getting that 6-inch deep strike is just so clutch every time I play them. So, but yeah, then we got the Talisman. Sometimes he's hot, sometimes he's not. Most of the time he's not. I think on day 2 I got like maybe 3 or 4 extra CP. Day 1 I got a ton. Like day 1 I got a lot of. One game I got was like 5 for 5. But then day 2 I might have only gotten 5 in 3 games, which was really sad. One game I was 0 for 5. It might have been the Botan game, but I literally was 0 for 5 with the Taliban. So I don't even know what to say about it. He's 40 points. Like he's just a filler. If he gets his CP, cool. If not, whatever. And then Typhus, I love Typhus. Obviously you could tell. Typhus is so good at this game, really. You come down, you do mortal wounds, d6 mortal wounds, and then you do an action because it doesn't count as a shot when you're doing his mortal wound things, and it's 18-inch range. So most of the time you're putting him in deep strike and you're coming down, and his scythe, when he's holding his scythe, you want to just put a like a point on his scythe, twisting it around, so that way just that point sees exactly what you want to see, like the tip of their point. So if you see a tank and you could barely see the edge, like engine, all the way in the back of the tank, and only can see your tip, right? That's a line of sight to the tank that Typhus can see, and there's not a lot of angles coming back at him. There's only that one angle going this way to see Typhus. I'm not putting Typhus in the middle and be like, all right, I'm going to shoot that thing 18 inches away. No, he's always like in a defensive position, usually behind a wall, behind cover, in a ruin, whatever it may be. He's always coming down, just seeing exactly what he wants to shoot, and then that's it. Because that's all he's really doing. He's not, usually doesn't really want to charge in. He's not going to make a 9 charge anyway. He's coming down, setting up for the next turn, coming down, doing an action, shooting something, and then that's really it. Like, you don't want to give up a free assassinate out of just placement of your Typhus. So that's how I run Typhus every single time, is solo. He's never with a unit. He's always by himself, coming down and just doing whatever. Every time I play Typhus into another Death Guard player or somebody that also plays Death Guard, they're like, wow, I never really play him that way or think about just running him solo the way you do. So when they see how I run him, and you guys have seen me run him in live games all the time, that's how you should be running your Typhus. Like, he's just so good and scary, even in melee, on, you know, what he does. So I think Typhus is one of the best 90-point characters we have, honestly. So those are the characters, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 characters we got. They're all really tanky. So almost unkillable. Gets back up twice. Mortarion, almost unkillable. And then Typhus, like, solo. And then Tallyman's all the way in the back. Not really doing anything. So then let's go over the battle line. We did bring 2 Plague Marine units. I didn't see a lot of Plague Marines this weekend. The 2 Death Guard players I ran against were both, one was Mortarion Hammer, one was Victorum. So none of them had Plague Marines. I think Plague Marines are obviously one of the best battle lines in the game. But how I run my Plague Marines is they're just cheap action monkeys that are actually tanky and can hold their own in combat. So one of the stratagems that we have in Victorum is you could get 4 rolls to hit and wound with an infantry unit. So I put all the guns that I can on my infantry models, so that way if they get out of a rhino, I could just spend 1 CP or a free CP and just get 4 rolls to hit and wound and kill like a character or an assassin, or hopefully the Melta wounds a vehicle and something like that. So that's kind of what I use them for, is just little cheap 5-man units to move out, do an action, make a charge, or just get on a point and steal it, because they're OPSEC 2. And again, being T6 is huge with infantry. A lot of times when they're, you know, playing against people, they still think they're T5. I'm like, nope, they're T6. So then they went on 5s with most of their stuff. So that is huge. I don't bring the icon. This list isn't made for battle shocks and stuff like that. They're not made to survive that long to get to a battle shock. So you don't have to put a bolter in the unit for an icon. I do have a heavy weapon, though, one of the heavy weapons, because the Plague Champion has the fist. So it's essentially the Plague Champion hits on 3s, which is really good, and then the heavy weapon hits on 4s. So both of them, I have 2 AP2 2 damage weapons. Then I also have a Meltagun, again, to try and help out with killing some tanks. The AP4 is great. The Plague Spear, because having 2 of them in a Rhino, getting out anti-infantry 2+, really good. And then a Blight Launcher, because I do need some long-range shots in case I want to put Contagion on another unit. So if I get out of the Rhino and I'm like, all right, I really need Contagion over there to help out with my heavy Blight Launchers, I need to shoot that thing over there while the other guys shoot this infantry squad in front of me. Once I hit that guy all the way over there, I then say, all right, that unit over there is going to be Contagioned. Right? So that helps out, get that long-range Contagion with your Plague Marines, so that way your guns in the back can, you know, fire with the -1 toughness. That's why you have at least 1 Blight Launcher or a Plasma Gun or something like that. So you could shoot pretty far. So yeah, that's why, and they're both the same, kitted up the same way. So they have Plague Spear, Meltagun, Blight Launcher, and a Plasma Gun. Plasma Gun. So a Plasma Gun shooting like double. Usually you don't really overcharge if you don't really need to, because if you overcharge, then you might lose one of your heavy or one of your power fists, which is AP2 2 damage, and he hits on 3s. Like, you don't really want to overcharge his Plasma Gun that much, only if you really, really need to and you don't care about him dying. Because I think he died every single time I rolled a 1. So every single time I shot him with overcharge, he died. So just always assume that if you are using it, that he might just die. So that make sure you remember that. Then obviously with the Rhino is clutch. I think Rhino in this specific build is so key for charging other tanks, blocking movement, getting onto objectives, moving your speed 5 Plague Marines, and then having a open top so that way your Plague Marines can shoot out of it with their either Melta, Blight Launchers, Plasma, or Flamers. So Rhino is really good for 85 points. I think he has a... it's funny, I'm just thinking about this now. He has an ability that I literally never used and forgot to use the entire weekend. So let's look at his ability. So his ability, in your shooting phase, after a model has shot, select one enemy unit hit by one or more of those attacks until the end of the phase. Disembark from his transport. You can reroll a wound roll. Yep, totally forgot about that. That is insane. So if the Rhino moves up, guys get out of the Rhino. Rhino shoots like a random bolter at a unit, and then everything else can shoot at something else. You then hit that unit, and now every single weapon going into that unit gets to reroll the wound. And is it just the till the end of the phase? So it's just the shooting phase, not the fight phase. But still, forgot about that. Really good unit for 85 points. And you want to keep it safe until you need it to like do an action, or like I said, he charged like a Mythic Blight Hauler against the other Death Guard player to stop him in his tracks because he didn't have a fallback and shoot strat. So like I kind of used him move 12, charge, even tank shock. Like they're good at tank shocking, and then blocking the 2 Blight Haulers, you know, so they can't move. Spawn, there's nothing. Spawn are one of the best things we have, honestly. I don't know if I have a list that doesn't have Spawn in it. 80 points is clutch. I played another Death Guard player, and we both learned this rule. If you're a Death Guard, do not go into a Spawn unit. Like, do not charge into a Spawn unit. Shoot it. Don't charge it. Because when you charge into a Spawn unit, they do mortals back to you before the saves. So if you charge in with, like, let's say, for example, a Death Shroud unit, the Death Shroud charges into my Spawn, wounded me like 12 times or 11 times. I then roll 11 dice because he allocated 11 wounds to me. So I roll 11 dice. Any 4-ups, max 6 goes back to that squad. I then get 6 4-ups. So I already did 6 mortal wounds back to the Death Shrouds. I already killed 1.5 Death Shrouds with my Spawn, right? He then kills one on the Spawn. The Spawn then blows up. The other Spawn had 1 wound left. That Spawn then blew up. So they both fucking deadly demised and killed the 2 Blight Lords that charged into him, which was one of the best moments I've seen all weekend. So that was one of the funniest things, and we were both dying laughing. Like, we both learned something that game of don't charge other players' spawns with melee weapons. So you can charge and like maybe one shot a Spawn. That would be a lot better because then they only get 1 dice to go back at you. But when you're doing like a lot of multi-hit attacks that are always going to wound the strength 7 models, that's a lot of attacks going back into you to do more wounds. So remember that, guys. Do not charge people's spawns because they will murder you back. So that was pretty funny. So I think Spawn are really good to get the contagion out. They have a Scout 6, so you can put them basically right on the line, especially for layout 1. You put them right in the top corner, and then Scout 6 inches up in a little triangle, and now they're there. And then they can either get to the center to do area denial, Locust, engage, or anything you need for turn 1 secondaries. They're right there, and they're speed 8. And they go through walls. So there's a lot of bonuses for them being there and being speed 8, because on turn 2 you're able to basically move out 8 and get a 6-inch aura of contagion, so you have a 14-inch range of contagion, not including advancing. So let's say you want to advance, like you get a 3, you're moving 11 inches across the table and then getting an additional 6 inches for an aura to then have the Death Shroud come down and charge. So they're really good at spreading the aura on turn 2 and turn 3. The longer they last in the game, the better they become. Because again, they're so fast that they are able to get across the table and get into backline units and cheaper units to spread the aura for contagion. So that's why I love them so much, is because they're T7, 4 wounds, 5 of Feel No Pain. They can do mortals back if they get hit, and they're decent with like a ton of attacks, hitting on 4s, AP 1-2 damage. Like, they're pretty good at what they do. The main thing being T7. That's why they're so fucking good. So 80 points, they work wonders in my list to spread the contagion a lot easier, so that way the Death Shroud can come back down. Yeah, so that's that. I'm gonna go back to Morty and kind of like, because they help out, or they're really good with Morty because of the reactive move, which I'll go over after this. 2 Death Shroud, obviously, to go with the Lord of Contagions. You guys already know what they do. Come down 6 inches away, charge, and just murder whatever the hell they touch. They give the Lord of Contagion all of the buffs, so he's able to get the sustain, lethal built in, lance on the charge, and they're great if you counter charge, because then that counts as charging, which then you get lance. So anytime somebody charges a unit near the Death Shroud, they can then counter charge for 1 CP, and then they get the lance again, even though it wasn't your turn. You counter charge, which then counts as a charge. So that's what's so good, and they just hit really, really hard. Then we got the 2 floated blow drones. Yes, I'm only running 2. I've been only running 2. I have never run 3 before. With the points going up, I'm pretty sure I might have to drop these guys, or at least drop one of them. So I might have to go down to 1 heavy blade drone moving forward, but who knows? We have to see the points. And then we have 30 Poxwalkers, 3x10 of the infiltrating 5 Field and Pain Poxwalkers. And I think all weekend I didn't use their ability either. So just goes to show, guys, you can win the game not even using the full potential of your army, which is kind of busted. So in your shooting phase, each time this model makes an attack that destroys an enemy unit, before removing the last model, roll d6, adding 1 to the result if they are afflicted. So on a 5+, each enemy unit within 6 inches of that model is afflicted till the next turn. Did not do that once the entire weekend. It's funny because this has been out for a while and I still think I've only done it once. So out of all the times you guys have seen me play Death Guard, I still have only rolled this once. Just goes to show that they're not totally busted, but they are cheap for what they do. And they're great speed 10 at tank shocking. So the speed 10 getting somebody in an aura, shooting, and then tank shocking as well. Yeah, so it's pretty funny. So yeah, 2 of those guys, and then the Poxwalkers. Poxwalkers everywhere I put them. Home field, you're basically rolling off to see who gets the infiltrating first. I infiltrate the center guys first in the ruin, so that way they can be 5 inches away to get area denial. The second unit is going in the top left corner, so that way they can get on the point and make that sticky turn 1, and they're blocking out the top. And then I have the last 10-man unit in my backfield blocking out my deployment zone. So I have my backfield blocked out, I have the top left blocked out, and then I have the center as a sacrificial pawn unit to go out and do something or spread the contagion turn 1 or turn 2. So that's kind of why I liked all 3 units of them. 2 units are probably needed. 1, not enough, but 2 I think is like a must. 3 is really good. And then I did switch that out since last time I made the list. There was a 60-point character or 55-point character. It was a 60-point character with the flamer, the Ballast Putrefier. No, the flamer guy. You guys know the 2 damage, D6 flamer, anti-infantry 2+, strength 7. That flamer I took out and added 10 more Poxwalkers, which I'm glad I did, because I definitely needed those Poxwalkers almost every single game. So that was the big change that I did from the last GT at ACO to this GT. Yeah, that was the difference, and I really liked the change. So back to Morty. Another reason why Morty is so good in this list is because of the reactive move. We found out in one of the last streams, so whoever's watching this and you told me about the reactive move is thank you, because I've been trying to do it all weekend. I think it worked like twice, but how the reactive move is worded, let me pull this up for you guys. Go to his abilities and then go to the Lord of Death Guard, and it says, just after an enemy unit ends a normal, advance, or fallback move within 9 inches of a friendly Death Guard unit that is within 6 inches of this model, and that Death Guard unit is not within engagement range of one of any models, it can make a normal move up to 5 inches. So what does that mean? That means that you get to move up 9 inches, or 10 inches, whatever he is. If they have a reactive move, which one of the live games I played against the Wolves did, he reactive moved 5 inches away from me. You can then as long as he ends within 9 inches, reactive move again after that. How crazy is that? So if you plan it out, and even if like you run up Mortarion, right, to be within 6 inches of another unit that you know is going to get a charge off, like let's say Death Shroud, if I run up my Mortarion and make sure that the Death Shroud are within 6 inches of Morty as they're moving up to a reactive move unit, I move up and I'm, let's say, I don't know, 3 inches away from that unit. They then try and react to move away, and they're within 6 inches of Morty. They can then proc the reactive move to go 5 more inches in any direction they want to then make a charge. That is so freaking cool. So we tried to do that and it worked. I think against the Votann player it worked. And then there was another, I think a Space Marine player, where you had that little character guy that moved around, and that worked for that as well. So really cheeky, really good to try and do that. And you can also use it with other units. So a lot of times when you're deploying Mortarion, you're always deploying him defensively. You don't want him to be shot. So when you deploy him, you want to make sure that your Poxwalkers that are in the center are always within 6 inches of Morty. At least the center unit. So you kind of like tie them off. You measure 6 inches to make sure that last Poxwalker is out of line of sight, but also within 6 inches of Morty. And then your spawn, they're going to be able to scout move up 6 inches, so they don't really need to be near Morty. But if you go first, you're going to move up Morty into like a defensive position, and then you're going to have your Poxwalkers, your spawn, and probably your Rhino and Demon Prince all within 6 inches of Morty on turn 1. So that way, if anybody comes near you and they're planning on killing, let's say, your Demon Prince, your spawn, your Poxwalkers, or Morty, you can then move 5 inches away to either get out of line of sight or get out of the charge, or use your Poxwalkers to move 5 inches forward to either steal the point back, block a charge, block a movement, move back. So that way, if they do charge them, you can counter with Morty. So there's a lot of stuff you can do with Mortarion and the reactive move with just those units. So the Poxwalkers alone, with being within 6 inches of Morty, is so clutch because they're your sacrificial unit turn 1. So you're going to be able to move them out turn 1, be pretty close like the wall still. Like you're going to have 1 or 3 of the Poxwalkers on the other side of the wall to do an action or get area denial. And then if they move within 9 inches of them, you're going to be able to move them 5 inches back behind the wall to try not be shot at again. So that's what's so good about having Mortarion in your list, is having that reactive move all the time. It happens, it resets every single turn. So in your turn, you get one of the 3 abilities. In their turn, you get one of the 3 abilities. So in your turn, when you're doing the move and the reactive, and you reactive, that counts as your ability in your turn, right? So then on their turn, if they then charge you for some reason, then you can then fight on death or something like that. So there's a lot of good movement shenanigans with Mortarion and this list to make it just super annoying to deal with. The spawn are great because you might have 2 spawn out in the open, and then if they get within 9 inches, you're moving them back to be way more defensive behind a wall, and they could be against the wall because they're, probably going to live if they get charged, but at least if they move behind a wall, they can't be shot just because of that reactive move. So it works with Rhinos, works with Demon Princes, works with himself. There was the one game where the Chaos Space Marine player launched his Warp Talons up like 18 inches to try and kill the Poxwalkers and make it an easy kill, so that way they go back into reserves. Well, I knew what was happening. He didn't know what was happening. I then moved my Poxes 5 inches backwards, right in front of Mortarion, like base to base with Mortarion. So that way, if he charges, he has to charge the Poxes, which then he can't get base to base with them because Mortarion's right there, and he doesn't want to be engaged with Mortarion. And then his guys in second rank can't get attacks because they all have to be within 1 inch of the Poxwalkers, and the only way to get second tanks is attacks if you're base to base with base to base. So he was only able to get like 4 or 5 Warp Talons into my Poxwalkers, which I actually countercharged as well over my Poxwalkers, which I think I needed like a 6 or something. I countercharged over my Poxwalkers and still got in combat with the Warp Talons. So after I did the sweep, I think he killed like 4 or 5 Poxes. I did the sweep, killed 7 of them back. So there's only 3 Warp Talons tied up in combat with Mortarion. And then he charged me with the Disco Lord as well. So when I countercharged with Mortarion, he's like, fuck it, I have to do it. He charges in with the Disco Lord, which he only had 3 wounds at the time. So Disco Lord, 10 Warp Talons, sweep the Warp Talons, nothing, no damage from the Disco Lord. So now Morty is in combat with 3 Warp Talons and a Disco Lord, which I now have Typhus coming down. At the end of my movement phase, I can do Mortal Wounds, and then I could also shoot in combat. Not the blast one, but like the big gun I could shoot in combat. So it just wasn't good for those Warp Talons being able to use the reactive move to bring them closer, and then they charge, and now they're screwed, right? So because if he doesn't charge them, he's in the open anyway. They're all going to die. He wanted to charge, kill them, go back into reserves, easy kill. So that's really what's so good about the reactive move. Fight on Death, I didn't really use that much. I didn't have a lot of opportunities to do it because a lot of my Lord of Contagions and Death Shroud were kind of all over the place. They weren't they weren't really 6 inches from Morty a lot of the time, so I didn't really have to do that. I mainly did the reactive move most of the games. I shot back like once or twice. The reactive move was probably 85% of the time, and the Fight on Death was like once or twice. I did it, and like I did it while also doing the -1 damage, so he only killed like 1 Death Shroud. So the 1 Death Shroud was able to fight on death, but I probably didn't have to do that. I don't know, whatever. He's still really fucking good. The 2 damage sweep, great. Dev, great. I wish he had more. I wish he had 7 attacks, honestly, for the overhead smash. But 5, it's okay. I missed probably 2 of them every single time. And the wounding on 3 is okay. The Dev, though, helps out a lot, because if you get just 1/6, D6 plus 1 Dev wounds. So, but yeah, guys, that is what my list was. That is what went 6-0 with Vectorum at the Lone Star Open. If you guys have any questions about the list or suggestions, hit me up. If you guys want coaching with Death Guard, hit me up Patreon, and then head over to Discord, so that way you get the Patreon link. It's only Patreons in that Discord, and you guys can message me anytime. We go over list ideas, tactics, and if you guys want Grandmaster coaching, we set up a call, and we can actually go through coaching 101 with either battle reports or GT that you have coming up. If you guys have any other armies that we play, we can give you a coach with the Dirtbag Nation, or I can coach you if it's one of my main armies. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff over at the Patreon.com, so I do appreciate it, guys. Let me know in the comments below what you liked, didn't like, how we can improve on the channel. The armies, I guess I should tell you which armies we played, so that way you guys know what's coming up. We played Space Marines, Votan, Creations of Bile, Astral Militarum, Death Guard, Death Guard. So that was the order. That's what we're going to be doing. So every video we're going to be making is all of these guys' videos. I have pictures. We'll go over what we did good, what we could have done better, and what we learned from each battle going in that. I can't wait till these last 2 back-to-back Death Guard on the top tables, which was fun. So that's going to be really cool to talk about. This is the guy that was a 73% win rate. He was really fun. This guy was a 73% win rate. This guy was really fun to play. This guy was super fun to talk to after the game, going over like what his team was telling him to play and how we played the game and what he noticed with how we played it compared to other Death Guard players. So yeah, guys, I appreciate it. Good luck, and we'll see you in the next battle report soon. What is up, gents? 40k Dirtbags here. If you guys are interested in joining the Dirtbag Nation over at patreon.com, you get a bunch of perks. What we did in 2024 was we really expanded. I had traveled a ton, and I played my ass off in 40k. Right now, we're ranked #1 best player in the United States on ITC rankings. We were the #1 Chaos Space Marine player in the world this year in 2024. 2 years ago, we got ranked #1 Grey Knight player in the world, and this year we're probably going to go into Death Guard, hopefully when the new Codex comes out, or Emperor's Children. But you guys, if you guys want that head coach or that coach always in your corner just to ask questions, bounce ideas off, that's what the competitive Dirtbag and the Dirtbag Nation is all about. If you guys want to support the channel, you head over to patreon.com. You can join the Just a Car tab, which is $5 a month. You guys get access to the Discord Patreon tab. You have to be a patron to get into that Discord, and also I'm always there. All the other coaches are there. Basically, it's just such a good community over on Discord that you guys get specific access to it that only Patreons can get. If you guys want to bump that up, the competitive Dirtbag tier, you guys get to message me or another Grandmaster or another Dirtbag coach over the Dirtbag Nation to have unlimited
questions, list ideas, list reviews, and bounce ideas off of. That's what having a coach in your corner is all about. If you guys want to bump up to the Grandmaster tier, that tier you get every perk under the sun. So basically you get access to Discord, you get one-on-one coaching, you get a call once a month if you guys would like to go over any RTTs coming up, any GTs coming up, any list reviews live over Discord chat, and also a special perk that Grandmasters get if you guys want any video suggestions like we do all the time with these table setups that we just upgraded thanks to the Patreons. You guys get suggestions or battle reports you want to see specifically played live by a coach or myself on the next battle report, or a live battle report coming up on the Patreon. So you guys get obviously first access to all the videos. We post them first on patreon.com, but there's just a ton of benefits to having a professional coach that plays this game all the time at the very, very high competitive level in your corner at all times. And that's really what the Dirtbag Nation is all about, getting you guys better at 40K, the basics, and being good in your community. So if you guys want to support the channel, I really appreciate it. Couldn't have done it without you guys in 2024, 2025. I am super stoked for, super excited for. If we really want to get a bigger studio going, that is going to be my focus in 2025, is really growing the community on YouTube and Patreon specifically. So thank you so much for 2024, all my Patreons. If you guys are interested in joining and want that coach in your corner, head over to patreon.com and support the channel. Appreciate it.